Okay, everybody, we are not having a cold reception today because we have a new character to show off, and we're going to be showing him off right away here. Here he is, Zack. A little bit different out of the light elemental party. Here we are with him in an actual testing based party. As you can see, HP a little bit lower, but attack higher. So there you go. 109 speed. If we were to compare that to, I don't know, how about this guy who, for the record, I have not actually got his master ability or his new limit burst unlocked yet. Been a busy day. So yeah, you can see a little bit. Also, Sephiroth has been reincarnated to high hell from last year. But you can get an idea for basically where these characters are. And I have to say, my early preview of Zack seems really, really good. Good amount of resistances, good amount of elemental resistances, and we haven't even seen him in action yet. So let's just jump right in here, test it all out. And as I've said before, JP players looking at kind of a busy day between all of this rebirth stuff, all the rebirth things, and SD Gundam launching, all just everything today. It's just nonstop for me. I didn't say go up there. Okay, let's pull all of our characters over. Of course, we want to just go through all of these nice little buffs. We're going to be doing all of this stuff, getting all of this going. If I was to say also from what I've thought about Zack, because, you know, every once in a while you just think about Zack all the time. The big thing that I kind of had a thought about, maybe his AP consumption, but let's take a look. So into the battle already. You can see that he has 35, his limit burst already down to 35 AP cost. Not necessarily enough to use it right off of the get-go, but very quickly we're going to be getting a little bit of a boost because we also have this AP barrier going up. Got Hero King Mont over here, and we're just going to fire off an attack really quickly against Zack. Gilgamesh. So Gilgamesh here, we're looking at about only 1600. We do have a high chance of causing these kind of status effects, but you can see that it is just not doing that much damage. Is it just because of magic damage? Maybe it's because of its AoE, I don't know. Let's take a quick peek over at the big old Zack man and see what he's got. All right, I mean, AoE resistance is 26. It's not that high. How about we look in here? No, it doesn't seem that amazing yet, but we are getting just a lot of damage reduction immediately off of that. So let's just continue on. If I can remember how to play the game, could happen. Throw all of these abilities up, and let's also throw this at Zack. So first off, as I noted in the previous video, I figured Curse would be a problem for him without the proper support, and yeah, not really too much to say here. Also again, Sephiroth not experiencing yet his big boost from his limit burst. I haven't unlocked it yet. This would also be more of a problem if that was the case, given that Zack does rely a lot on HP restore and everything like that. So yes, is potentially problematic, but DPS-wise, we're still not doing that terribly much against Zack yet, thanks to partially of one of the abilities that we've already casted, but well, yeah. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So let's go through. We'll continue doing the buff dance, as you do. And then we'll look at using Zack's other ability. We're not too interested in this evasion down one. We're not too interested in his trust mastery ability either. We're going to activate this secondary ability. Get all of that nice stuff. We're up to 89 AP now. And if we just take a look back into Zack, well, there's a little bit of a question answered about that whole elemental resistance thing that is listed on Wotv calc that does seem to have some actual errors in it. It is a 12% it is an actual increase into his elemental resistance, but it's not as big as it kind of states in there. I think that's just a data parsing error that I've been able to now just disprove. But still, 27% across the board is pretty nice. And if we take a look, Not that Hero King Mont is the highest DPSer, but I do think we can get a pretty good idea very quickly that Zack is really good at not taking damage. Again, we can fire off this Limit Burst, and it's even less impressive now. Sorry, Gilgamesh. You're just too old. Maybe this guy. Hey, there we go. There's some nice damage. Looks like single target might be the actual more way to go, which kind of also not too terribly surprising, seeing that he does stack more AoE resistance, but, well, give it a second. Get Zack back out here. Now, as you can see, Limit Burst is now casting only 22 AP, very, very low costed entire set. Doesn't mean that you probably don't need to run too much AP generation on. I mean, we basically casted 2 abilities to generate enough AP to use a ton of different stuff over multiple turns. Like, we don't necessarily need to, we can just run this. Again, you can see that potentially barriers are a little bit of a problem, but not too terribly much. Taking just a glance back at his kit, barrier destruction is something that is essentially missing. He has chain removal, his defense down, he has a lot of different stuff for protecting his own survivability and whatnot, but he is missing barrier destruction. So that is something that Zack is going to want to be running. But if we also just really quickly take a look here, even dealing only 3,524 damage against Sephiroth here, which we'll talk about accuracy in a second here, see that Zack is restoring a good percentage of his actual HP that has been lost, which is really nice for keeping him healthy and strong. And also touching on accuracy, as I know from my testing on this map, when we are actually testing this, we know for a fact that if a character has very little accuracy, then the friend unit will not be able to do very good. So it does speak strongly that actually Zack's accuracy is pretty good as it is right now with the friend unit build, since we are able to potentially hit Sephiroth. Now, that of course isn't too terribly much of a problem, because if we find the right ability in here, I know it's in here somewhere. We know that he has 100% accuracy ability, so that's just plenty. Now let's just that. Yeah, we are getting a little bit of nonsense there. But Zack, pretty good heal off of that, and we know that we could get a full heal from one of his abilities because doing the AoE. Not always going to be accessible, but there it is. So yeah. What's the big takeaways here? Well, single target resistance is kind of one of Zack's strong points for getting rid of, but also one of his weak points, since it can be used against him, as that seems to be the generally weakest point. From his sub-jobs, we know he can be better against mages than what he currently is, so there is a potential that he could just be fine regardless of it, magic damage. And that will make him for good against a wide range of different parties. We know that he is particularly better against Spear and some others, but all the elemental chain resistance just seems very nice. Seems like he has a very good, strong, well-made kit. And the only real question is like how well he will shake up in a pretty demanding meta where there is a lot of different teams right now, a lot of different elements and characters that are generally pretty strong, and of course top tier spear based teams, whether or not he can get through those. But yeah, with good support from Karcha, AC Cloud, HK Mont, and maybe some other weird characters too, depending on vision card support, be very interesting to see what the theory crafting comes up with. So stay tuned for all of that. Talk about it soon enough. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Later.